Good morning, children. Today we will learn direct speech and indirect speech. This presentation is for class 8, subject English Grammar, chapter number 19. So, in this presentation we are going to learn direct speech and indirect speech. The first thing we will learn the difference between direct speech and indirect speech. So, what is direct speech? What is indirect speech? First, we will learn what is direct speech. Direct speech is saying what someone said without any changes. Here, we use quotation mark to indicate what the person said and also to use the exact words of the person. Children, in this slide you can see here the quotation mark. So in direct speech we use quotation mark where you can see the green tick, that is called the quotation mark. We also call them inverted comma begin and inverted comma close. So whenever you see any phrase or a group of words that is in quotation, it means that is the exact words said by a person. Now we come to indirect speech. In indirect speech, we do not use quotation mark. Instead, we use the conjunction that and state the sentence by changing its tense. So in indirect speech, what we do, children, we bring one conjunction. Usually that conjunction is that, but it is not always we use that. Later on in this presentation, we will discuss the other conjunctions also. But usually we use that. So in indirect speech, what we do, we remove the quotation mark, we bring one conjunction, that is the word that, that, usually, and we do the changes in the tense, and then we change the direct speech into indirect speech. See here, in indirect speech you will see there is a red cross on the quotation mark. This is for your understanding that if there is no quotation mark, it means it is not the exact words spoken by a person. Changes we need to keep in mind when we are changing sentences from direct speech to indirect speech. Changes of direct speech into indirect speech. Children, the first thing that we have to keep in mind while doing the changes, we have to check the reporting verb. So the first rule is, if the reporting verb is in the present or future tense, the verb in the reported speech is not changed at all. Let's see with the help of some examples. He says he is unwell. So when we see the quotation mark, we come to know that this is direct speech. Now let's check the reporting verb. The reporting verb here is says, written in red. So says, what is the tense? The tense is present. He says he is unwell. So I have checked the first rule. The first rule is we have to check the tense of the reporting verb. The reporting verb here is says. So immediately I came to know that there will be no change in the reported speech. The tense change will not happen in the reported speech. So how we will change? He says will remain says only. He says that, we will bring one connector, the word that, that, he says that he is unwell. So he is unwell is what tense? It is simple present tense. So when we are changing it from direct speech to indirect speech, see, the tense is not changing. He says that he is unwell. Simple present remains simple present. You can also call it indefinite. Simple. You can also call it present indefinite. So present indefinite remains present indefinite. One more example. He will say he has passed the examination. The same thing we will follow here. The first thing we will see that okay, this is in quotation mark. So immediately I came to know that this is direct speech. Now if it is a direct speech, then there will be a reporting verb. So I will check the reporting verb. So here the reporting verb is will say. I know the rule. The rule is that if my reporting verb is in the present tense or in the future tense, then there will be no change of tense in my reported speech. So, he has passed the examination is present perfect. So, I know that this will not change. The tense will not change. Present perfect here will remain present perfect only. But what we have to do? We have to bring one connector. We will use THAT that as connector. So he will say will remain will say only. He will say that he has passed the examination, and this changes into indirect speech. Now, if the reporting verb is in the past tense, the tenses of the direct speech changes. That is mentioned in the next slide. Beta, what are the changes that will happen if my reporting verb is in the past tense? We will discuss in the next slides. So very clear that if my reporting verb is in the past tense, then all the tense changes will happen in my reported speech. If my reporting verb is in the present tense or in the future tense, then no tense change will happen in my reported speech, or you can call it indirect speech. Now better note one thing. If the reporting verb is in the past tense and the direct speech conveys a universal truth, no change in tense is made in its indirect form. This means that if I have a sentence that conveys a universal truth or a universal fact, then no change of tense will happen in my indirect speech. Now, many of you will have a question that what is universal fact? What are universal truth? Universal truths, better. I will give you some examples. The sun rises in the east. This is a universal fact. So, there will be no change of tense if we get such type of questions. Some more examples of universal truths are honey is sweet, milk is white, 2 and 2 make 4. So these are called universal facts because they are always true. Hence, whenever we get such sentences in direct speech and we have to change them in indirect speech, there will be no change of tense. I repeat, there will be no change of tense. The tense will remain the same in my indirect speech. Let me explain you with the help of one example. The teacher said. Now here said, what is the reporting verb? The reporting verb is said. Now what is the tense of the reporting verb? We all know said, S-A-I-D. Said is past tense. So according to the rule, what should happen? There should be a tense change. But just now we have studied an exception to the rule. The exception to the rule is that whenever we are reporting any universal fact or universal truth, the tense of that sentence will not change. The teacher said, the earth goes round the sun. What we will do? We will bring one connector. Simply one connector we will use. THAT that. The teacher said that the earth goes round the sun. This is how we will report a universal truth. Rules and steps for change in speech. Children, this is a chart. With the help of this chart, you will be able to understand the tense changes when we are changing from direct speech to indirect speech. Now let's see the change in tenses. Present indefinite. Present indefinite is also called simple present. So simple present will change into past indefinite. Past indefinite means simple past. So simple present will change into simple past. Present continuous will change into past continuous. Present perfect will change into past perfect. Present perfect continuous will change into past perfect continuous. Past indefinite will change into past perfect. Past continuous will change into past perfect continuous. Past perfect will remain unchanged, that is past perfect will change into past perfect only. Past perfect continuous will also not change. Past perfect will remain past. Past perfect continuous will remain past perfect continuous. In all the future tenses, will changes into would. Children, please make a note of these changes in your copy or notebook and learn them, so that whenever you get a sentence in which you have to change the tenses, so keep in mind the changes you have to make in tenses. Now children, in this slide we will see the changes that are made from direct speech to indirect speech in terms of time and place. So let's see the changes. Now changes to then. Here changes to there. There, there. Hereafter changes to thereafter. This becomes that. These becomes those. Ago becomes before. Thus changes to so, so, so. Today changes to that day. Tonight changes to that night. Last night becomes the previous night. Yesterday changes to the day before, or you can also write the previous day. Tomorrow will change to the next day or the following day. Last week becomes the week before or the previous week. Next week, the week after. You can also write the following week. Both are correct. Last month changes to the month before or the previous month. Next month changes a month after. Heather changes to thither. Hence changes to thence. Will changes to would. Shall changes to should. Can becomes could. May becomes might. Must will remain must only. Am, is changes to was. Are and were are changes to were. So children, please keep these changes in your mind when you are changing from direct speech to indirect speech. Now children, in this slide we will see the changes in pronouns. How to change pronouns. Just a quick recap of the pronouns. You already know the pronouns. First person pronouns are I, me, mine. These are singular first person pronouns. Then we have we, us, ours. These are first person plural pronouns. You and yours are second person pronouns. He, him, his, her, she, hers, it, their. These are third person pronouns. They, them, their. These are also third person pronouns, but they are plural pronouns. Now we will see the changes in pronouns. The first rule is pronouns of first person in the reported speech are changed according to the subject of the reporting verb. So you have to keep in mind the subject of the reporting verb. Let's see here with example. She said, I shall be there. This is direct speech. Now let's observe the changes in pronouns. She said that she would be there. So here I changes to she Another example, he said, I never tell a lie. He said that he never told a lie. So here I changed to he. The second rule is pronouns of second person in the reported speech changes according to the object of the reporting verb. So you have to keep in mind the object of the reporting verb. He said to me, I do not believe you. This is direct speech. Now, he said to me changes to told. He told me that he did not believe me. So here see the changes. I changed to he and you change to me. Now pronouns of third person in direct speech remains the same in indirect speech. So the pronouns of third person, they do not change. Let's see with some example. He said, she is coming this week. Direct speech. He said that she was coming this week. So here there is no change in pronoun. She remains she. Now note, no change of pronoun is made when the speech is reported to the person to whom it was first addressed. This means that the person to whom the speech was first addressed, if we are reporting it to the same person, then there will be no change in pronoun. Let's see with one example. The teacher said to you, you are wrong. So here the indirect speech will be the teacher told you that you were wrong. So here there is no change in pronoun. You remains you only. Now children, we will learn the rules of reporting questions or interrogative sentences. Rules for reporting questions or interrogative sentences. So what is the first rule? The first rule is the conjunction that will not be used in indirect speech. So when we are changing a question from direct speech to indirect speech, we will not use the conjunction that, which we generally use. So this is a very important point you should keep in mind. In indirect speech, the interrogative sentence will be expressed in assertive form. Means it will become an assertive sentence. It will not remain an interrogative. It will change its form from interrogative to assertive. The third rule is the sign of interrogation will be replaced by full stop. Obviously, if it will not remain an interrogative sentence, it will become an assertive sentence. So obviously it should end with a full stop, not with the sign of an interrogation. The third rule is the reporting verb is changed to asked, inquired, etc. So we will use words like asked, inquired, such words we will use. Whether or if is used after such reporting verb when the question is direct or it has yes or no for an answer. This means that when we are asking a question whose answer will be yes or no, so such type of questions are called direct questions. You can also say them close-ended questions because they will have an answer yes or no. So in those cases, we will start the reported speech with whether or if. The sixth rule is the same word is used to introduce the reported speech if the question begins with an interrogative pronoun or adverb such as what, who, which, whom, and when, where, how, and why. Moreover, verb is placed after the subject in indirect speech following the WH word, means the question word. So here I will explain with the help of some examples. Direct questions means questions whose answers will be yes or no. So when we are reporting those questions, we will use the word whether or if. The weather spelling will be W-H-E-T-H-E-R, not W-E-A-T-H-E-R. That weather means the season, the weather outside. Children usually they make this mistake. So keep in mind the spelling of weather. Let's take an example. Preeti said to me, do you play chess? So what Preeti is doing? Preeti is asking a question. And do you play chess? This question will have an answer, yes or no. There will be no explanation of this question. So these questions are called direct questions or close-ended questions. So these questions, when we are reporting these questions, we will use the word whether or if as the conjunction. Preeti asked me whether I played chess. The other changes will also happen which we have learned. The tense change, the pronoun change, that will also happen. Along with that, we will use whether. Please keep in mind, see here in this example, we are not using the word that. Preeti asked me whether I played chess. A very common mistake children make, they change it very nicely, but what they do, they add the word that. Preeti asked me that whether I played chess. The moment you add the word that, T-H-A-T, this sentence becomes wrong. So do not use that as conjunction. So that is why I have mentioned, the very first rule I have mentioned, that the word that will not be used when we are changing an interrogative sentence from direct speech to indirect speech. Let's take one more example. He said to me, what are you doing? So here said to me is what? Asking. No, he is asking. So I will use he asked me what I was doing. So here beta, when it is an open-ended question or a WH word like how, why, what, when, where, we will use the same WH word as the connector. I repeat, we will use the same WH word as the connector. We will not use the word THAT, that. So he asked me what I was doing, full stop. Commands and requests. Now we will learn how to change commands and requests from direct speech to indirect speech. The reporting verb is changed to requested, order, commanded, advised, or some other word suiting the sense. So children, whenever you read a sentence and you see that the sentence is a command or a request, first of all, try to find out the sense of the command or the request, and then use a word which suits the situation. The second rule is the verb in the reported speech is put in the infinitive form. Infinitive verbs we have already studied, children, that to plus base form of the verb becomes infinitive. Fine. So like to play, to sing, to dance. So these are infinitive verbs. Let's learn with the help of some examples. He said to him, please wait here till I return. This is direct speech. So what is the word please suggests? The word please suggests that it is a request. So the word I will use is, he requested him to wait. See, the verb changes to infinitive, to wait. He requested him to wait there till he returned. So here changes to there. He requested him to wait there till he returned. This is indirect speech. One more example. He said to Arjun, go away. Now from here what we can sense? Go away. It's an order. So what we will use? He ordered Arjun to go away. One more example. The invigilator said to the students, do not open the question paper till the bell rings. So how we will change? Let's see the sense. What is the sense here? He is asking the students not to do something. So when we ask someone not to do something, that is called forbid. Forbid. So the invigilator forbade students to open the question paper till the bell rings. One more example. He said, "Be quiet and listen to my words." So what is the sense? Be quiet and listen to my words. This is a sense of command and order. So what we will use? He ordered everybody to be quiet and listen to his words. In all these sentences, children, we have seen that the verb is changing to infinitive. Thank you for your time, children. Thank you for watching this presentation. This presentation was prepared by your English teacher, Sonu Nanda.